Have you ever faced a frustrating issue while working with Symfony? If you've ever submitted a form only to find that it populated the wrong data, you're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common problem with Symfony 3 regarding token population and user refresh. I totally understand how annoying it can be when your application doesn't behave as expected. You submit a form, and instead of a smooth transition, you get errors and unexpected behavior. This is a common issue many developers encounter. Let's look at the specific situation at hand. One user reported that after editing their email to an invalid format, Symfony populated the wrong email into the token. This led to a warning about the username not being found in the selected user provider. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So, why does this happen? When a form is submitted with invalid data, Symfony should ideally reject it. However, if the invalid data somehow gets through, it can lead to issues like the one we're discussing. Understanding this flow is crucial for troubleshooting. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a key insight that can help you avoid this issue in the future. To address the issue of Symfony populating an invalid email into the token, the user should first ensure that the email validation is properly handled in the form submission process. Next, the user should modify the controller to prevent the invalid email from being saved if the form is not valid. This can be done by adding a condition to check the validity of the form before proceeding with any user updates. Additionally, the user can implement a mechanism to clear the token or refresh the user data only when the email is valid. This will help avoid the warning about the username not being found. Finally, the user should test the changes thoroughly. This includes submitting both valid and invalid email addresses to ensure that the application behaves as expected without errors. Fun fact, did you know that Symfony is named after the French word for together? Just like how we're tackling this issue together right now. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggested by another user is to check if your form passes the isValid function. They recommend using an event listener or a validator to ensure email integrity before the refresh user method is called. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. This user suggests a different approach to handle the issue of populating the wrong email into the token. They point out that after calling handle request on the form, the email from the token user object gets updated. Initially, they considered implementing the equatable interface in the user entity, but this did not resolve the problem since the compared object already had the incorrect email. Instead, they recommend refreshing the current user object from the database if the form submission fails. This can be done by calling the refresh method on the Doctrine Entity Manager. Additionally, the user mentions that the Symfony repository discussion led to insights about avoiding entities in forms and decoupling the security user, which could provide a more complex solution to the problem. Here's the key insight I promised. Always validate your data before using it in your application. This simple practice can save you from a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. By following these steps, you can prevent invalid data from causing issues in Symfony. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on Symfony and other development topics.